Is the win hitting you? The Tampa Bay win?
It is for me because I'm watching a quarterback play lights out. I'm watching my team play lights out. It feels like the defense is back. Like this defense that we fell in love with, top 5 version, is back. Secondary looks good. Moving Diamond Lenore to the slot was a huge upgrade. It feels like Ambry Thomas, surprisingly, is playing good football. Travaris Ward's breaking up passes. Fred Warner's playing maybe the best football of his life. Dre Greenlaw laying fools out. Chase and Bosa, what a bromance. Getting the best out of Hargrave and Armstead the last couple of weeks. I feel like CMC is still at the height of his powers. Kittle's getting the ball. Like, Niners are hitting on all cylinders, and we get ready for the big stretch of the season. Seattle, Philly, Seattle. Boom. Then it's playoff time.
I think that's what's going to wake people up.
We are here.
I think that's what's going to wake people up. Not a win against Tampa Bay. And I'm not trying to play Debbie Downer. I'm just sensitive. We throwing out the number. Maybe it's Thanksgiving weekend. Maybe it's Thanksgiving week. But we throw out the number with the Warriors and right away, bling, 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 bling. So let's do this. We're just going to go down the line here. Jeff in South Carolina. He wants to talk about Brock Purdy. What's up, Jeff? You're on the roast.
How's it going, fellas?
What's going on?
So I'm 30. The first quarterback I remember seeing for the 49ers was Tim Rattay. All right, it was bad.
So sorry.
That was bad. It was bad. All right, and so then we got Alex Smith, and then we went between like Smith, Sean Hill, J.T. O'Sullivan. Then we had Kaepernick for a hot second, and it's just my whole life I've watched the 49ers really struggle, right? And then when you got Jimmy G, he looked great for a second. But Purdy is the first quarterback I've experienced where I'm not scared going into the game that he's going to give it away. He's never going to give it away. So I'm also a huge Warriors fan, and I was so happy that CP3 was coming to town. But I think Purdy's the new point guard. I really do. I think he's the one who distributes the ball better than anybody. And everybody tries to use he hasn't had enough experience late in the games sort of thing against him. Nobody even talks about that he's in the bottom half of the NFL in pass attempts. I mean, Shanahan never throws the ball. We have like 25 attempts a game, and we think that's a ton for him. And he's just excellent. He's excellent. So I just wanted to throw that out there and talk about how great Purdy is and how, as someone who hasn't seen a whole lot of great quarterbacks, I'm ecstatic that he's here, and I hope he's here to stay.
Yeah,
Thanks, fellas.
he's playing like an MVP. He's playing like an MVP. 21 and 25, 333, 3 touchdowns. I don't care what the national media says about him. I don't. I've been out on the national media talking about my teams for some time now because I know they don't watch much. It's okay. I know what I'm seeing. Purdy was special yesterday. But so was Brandon Ayuk. That's why football is the ultimate team sport. One player is not going to carry the day. The quarterback needs his wide receivers to catch the football. The quarterback needs the offensive line to block. The quarterback needs a good running game, and he needs a back like Christian McCaffrey to really make this offense explosive. You need a good tight end. You need a good defense behind you that can, when you're slumping a little bit like they did in the fourth quarter, the defense will pick up the slack. And they'll force a couple turnovers. They'll come up with some interceptions, some timely deflections. So it's not just one guy, but the leader of the clubhouse is Brock Purdy because he is the quarterback. He is the leader of this football team. And when everything is in place, when you got Devo out there alongside Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle and Trent Williams, all of a sudden I'm expecting no less than 30 points a game. And they scored 27. So, yeah, a little part of me is a little disappointed because I wanted to bury Tampa Bay yesterday. I wanted that 30 burger. I wanted to get greedy. But I also wanted the Warriors to get a win on Saturday. I wanted to get a win. So, 888-957-9570. We have a YouTube poll question. What is the bigger deal today? The 49ers' 2-game winning streak over the Florida teams, Jacksonville and Tampa Bay, or the Warriors' 6-game losing streak? What is the bigger deal right now in the Bay Area? 888, that's a great question to throw out to the lines. 888-957-9570. What is the bigger deal and why? The Niners' 2-game winning streak and being alone in first place after Seattle missed that field goal late in the game, and that was the team that looked ahead to the Thanksgiving Day extravaganza. That's a team that doesn't have the experience of playing deep into the playoffs.
They were banged up, too.
They were banged up.
What I mean? Like that's.
But they blew. That game should have been over at halftime.
Well, your boy McVay, with some horrific clock management down the stretch, got lucky. McVay got lucky in that particular sequence. But thank you, Rams. And thank you, Pua Nakua. Oh, my God, is he good. God, he's good. I think the bigger news right now is to me, it's the Niners. Like, we're at the beginning of the year for the Warriors. I don't know. I don't think it's championship or bust for them right now, even though I know how important it is to try to win a fifth ring, which sounds absolutely absurd. To me, it's the 49ers getting back on track. Football is always going to be bigger than basketball, just generally in America. And I feel like the 49ers winning that game the way that they did, it sets themselves up for this stretch because you have to accomplish what you need to do on the front end before you can make those games matter.
Football is king in America. There's no doubt about that. Football gets everybody talking, the overreactions on Monday. But this particular win to me, and the week it came in, after watching the Warriors at home and the way they lost, to be this Monday for me, the bigger deal is how the hell can the Warriors get a win at home? Now, Thursday and then December 3rd, we already know it's about the Niners and what they do against Philadelphia, what they do against Seattle, what they do in the playoffs. They're going to be the biggest deal as we head into January and February. But at this moment right now, I can't help myself thinking, gosh, is this it for the Warriors? Is this how it's ending? Are they going to make massive moves?
What dynasty rides it out into the sunset where all their best players are kumbayaing on a horse, riding off into the sunset into retirement?
Bird, McHale, and Parrish.
But timeout. When it ended, Bird was on the sidelines on the ground with a back
That's
injury.
what I'm saying. You say like Kumbaya, but
yeah,
they wrote it out together.
Way. No, but
in a good way?
I'm saying like in a good way. Like most dynasties end with a thud.
Yeah. And this one might end with a thud.
I mean, Brady ended his tenure with the New England Patriots with a pick six and a loss to the Tennessee Titans and Ryan Tannehill.
Right.
Right? Like most dynasties don't end beautifully.
So 888-957-9570. What is the bigger deal at this moment? Let's go to what is the bigger deal at this moment? The Niners bouncing back and taking control of first place in the NFC West? Or is it the Dubs losing 6 straight games after we thought they were back? And remember, even when they did lose to Denver, we were all feeling good. Oh, man, we were so encouraged. Are we still encouraged? Or is that done? Has that dissipated? Let's go to George in Los Altos. What's happening, George? You're on a roast.
Hey, guys. So real quick, my daughter's home from college, and so we go play Spring Valley this morning.
Nice.
We lasted one hole, and we had to leave.
Why is that?
40-mile-an-hour winds.
Whoa.
Oh, boy.
Where was this
There
at?
are tree branches on the green.
Where?
I mean, it was at Spring Valley in Milpitas. Have you ever played that course?
No, I haven't.
Oh, my God. They put $4.5 million into it. It's a beautiful course. I will say that the greens will drive you insane.
Oh.
They're so tricky. They look simple, but they're so tricky. The ball breaks 1 foot before the cup, and you just want to just break your putter. I swear. But that's not why I called. But you guys should go play it sometime, Bob.
Okay.
And Joe. You guys should go.
All right, George. Adam Schefter just reporting. George, did you want to finish up? All right, George can call back and finish up if he wants, but Adam Schefter just reported that Kyle Shanahan has confirmed that Talanoa Hufanga has indeed torn his ACL during Sunday's win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Jair Brown will get to step up. Here's Warner. Here's Warner on Hufanga and Brown.
It's always next man up mentality, and my heart goes out to Huff. Not exactly sure what's going on there, but obviously they're fearing the worst for him right now, and that's obviously my heart and prayers go out to Huff, man. That's sickening news, but to talk about the way Jair played today and being ready for his moment, can't say enough about it. That's huge. Even though we were up in the game, to be down there in the red zone and make the plays that he made to help us get out of there speaks to the way that he's worked, and been ready for his opportunities. So there wasn't much that needed to be said. I knew he'd be ready.
So a clean tear to the ACL, no meniscus, no other ligament damage, just the ACL, a clean tear of the ACL for Talanoa Hufanga in that right knee, his knee buckled, trying to tackle Richard in space. Remember he had the Baker cyst earlier this season.
Was it the same leg?
Was that the left leg? I don't remember which leg that was, but he had the Baker cyst in the knee. So that's unfortunate. He had an all-pro season last year. He was first-team all-pro at the safety spot.
I mean, one of the real steals, a fifth-rounder who was excelling on special teams in year one, and then year two was a starter. Can they overcome it? Sure. That's plausible that they can, find a way to salvage it while he's out. But for a rookie to play safety, it's very difficult. I remember Eric Wright stepping in for Deshaun Golson when Deshaun Golson went to the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Eric Reed, you mean? Eric Reed?
Excuse me, Eric Reed. Who did I say?
Eric Wright.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, we've got to get Eric Wright in the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame, but go ahead.
Yeah, Eric Reed. And Eric Reed was really good, but he had the whole offseason to play with the starters and, a couple of missed plays in the NFC Championship game that year where he just read some stuff wrong in terms of poor angles. I always felt like had they had Deshaun in 2013, things play out a little different.
Yeah, no doubt. Man, I did not realize this, but Brandon Ayuk's on pace for 1,570 yards receiving.
Wow.
Now, he probably won't get that.
That'd be a monster year.
Damn.
It'd be the biggest year since Rice, right?
Damn. Wow. We want to go to Oakland?
I don't know.
Ready to get into a zone? And we're not talking about the Warriors zone defense right now. We're talking about the zone that Brock Purdy was in yesterday. Tony in Oakland for a Thanksgiving treat. Tony, what's happening?
How you guys doing? Getting ready for Turkey Day?
I'm getting ready for Disneyland, Tony. I'm going down to see Mickey Mouse and Elsa and Anna and Olaf or whatever his name is, Snowman. Yeah, there you go.
You guys
Moana.
are getting boring, huh? Okay, so, Purdy is perfect, but the first thing I want to say is, did you notice it's like they got the word out not to have the camera on Shanahan while he's on the sideline? And I only saw it briefly, and then one more time, he looked like he had been caught in the act looking at his notes like he was cheating on a test or something. It was hilarious, and they never showed the booth. It was as though the word went out. Okay, so you want to know how to fix the Warriors?
Yeah, how can we get Klay Thompson back in the zone? I need him back in the zone, Tony.
This is what you do. Since I ain't receiving any call from you and I can't get myself on the sideline, this is what you do for both of them. Someone with the stuff. Green and whatever. These guys all wear crosses. They all believe. What they do ahead of time before the game is they play Remember When. Remember when. Remember when you got in the zone. And they get someone to talk about so they can all start feeling it. Because if people don't do that, they go into the game as separate objects. But as soon as you get the flow going because they're playing Remember When and they feel what it feels like, then they go in as a fighting unit. Okay, so this would help both of the teams. And the aging guys, it doesn't matter. Look at Djokovic. He gets in. And what they could do, it just
Jokic or Djokovic?
Like that Italian dude with the weird name,
tennis.
Sinner, right?
Tony's a tennis player, tennis star at Cal Berkeley.
You know why he's playing so good?
Why is that?
Because he's got a box. They raise their forearm to him, and they have the fist, and two of those guys can mirror that feel to him. I think it's sort of like cheating. They should let these guys play on their lonesome without a box. But since tennis is now a game where you've got teams, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what the Warriors and the Niners do. They play Remember When.
Tony, what's your Thanksgiving Day plans?
And you were all
Tony, it feels good. Hey, what's your Thanksgiving Day plans?
Pardon?
What's your Thanksgiving Day plans?
Well, I got to decide between 3 different family events.
Oh, wow.
But,
this is popular.
What's funny is you kind of get through those things, don't you?
You find a way, Tony. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm in the zone again. It's 3 different families. It's a good problem to have.
So watch Novak Djokovic, Clay, and everything will be solved.
Yeah. Hey, didn't he just beat Alcaraz again?
I think so, something like that.
Yeah,
I think my brain got fried. Secondhand mushrooming.
Don't assume that. Don't assume that they're doing mushrooms. You don't want to do that.
Okay.
We thought Nick at Berkeley was on the corner drinking an OE, and he was like, "Yo, I don't even drink beer."
Have you seen Robin Hood, the one with Kevin Costner?
It's been a long time.
Well, there's like a crazy witch that's in it, and that's at the end. And I swear I watched it over the weekend because it was on TBS or TNT or whatever. The same voice from that crazy lady who's mixing up the brew to try to put a hex on Robin Hood sounds like Tony.
Yeah. Not mad at her. She said that sounds boring. That sounds boring, Posse. Sabala at Richmond. Sabala, what's happening, man? You're on the roast. Help us recover.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
I love your program. Thank you for taking my call.
How you doing?
I'm a Niners fan. And I'm good. I'm a Niners fan and a Warriors fan. And I just like this question of kind of which is most important, like whose season is, most important right now. They're both important. And I feel like the Niners is definitely the bigger source of joy. Like there's no better feeling than when your team is killing it, right?
No doubt.
But I have to say, as a mom, I would actually say what's going on with the Warriors is like more meaningful and important just in my little family and neck of the woods. And that's because I watch the Warriors games with my daughter. She's 8. She's getting into it. She's learning so much, and I love to see that. But she gets so worked up and passionate, and like every game is potentially the end of the world. So like she's suffering a little bit right now as a little budding Warriors fan. But as her mom, it's a chance for me to talk to her about like the road of life is long, and there are seasons where things don't go super well in sports and in life, and you hang in there and like you stick with your team and you keep the faith, not blind faith, but like there's 80-something games. We're not even in the calendar year of the finals yet, So that's a little philosophical, I know. But
can I ask you a question?
I like your perspective.
Yeah, I do too.
Zabala.
What did your daughter think of the Gobert Draymond Green situation?
Okay, well, she takes after her mama, and she feels like if you come after one of mine, then you get whatever's coming to you.
So she's an eye for an eye girl. All right.
She's a bit of an eye for an eye girl. And like, it's kind of abstract to her that he has this history. And that's partly what the NBA is responding to. She just feels like if somebody came after someone in my family, I'd haul him across the court too. And I have not corrected her on that idea yet.
That's that Richmond, California. And Sabala, thanks for the phone call there.